You walked into a meeting with a strong idea. You delivered it. And 40 minutes later, no one fought for it. No one argued against it. It just kind of floats off. The idea wasn't wrong. It was dead on arrival. It's not about the idea. It's about attachment. I'm Michael Bruner. I help technical professionals get their ideas to land and help shape decisions. In this video, I'm going to show you why smart ideas die in meetings, even though they're right. Then we'll talk through 3 anchors that determine whether your idea survives the room or gets left behind. Let's jump straight in. I've watched smart people deliver great ideas that died countless times. Good technology, really smart people, but the audience saw the idea as random. How does this fit? It wasn't anchored. And 40 minutes later, when the meeting ended, no one fought for it, no one argued against it, it just laid there. It kind of floats off. The presenter walked out wondering, what went wrong? Here's the hard truth. There was nothing wrong with the idea. Something was wrong with its connection, or lack thereof. It's like a computer that's not plugged in. It just doesn't work. Or think of a train. Cars that are connected to the locomotive get pulled through the organization. Cars not hitched get left behind as the train pulls away. Most ideas don't fail because they're bad cars. They fail because the presenter never hitched them. One of the biggest mistakes that communicators make is assuming that information creates communication. It doesn't. It needs connection. The human brain is associative by design. This means that people don't absorb new information in isolation. They understand new ideas by connecting them to what they already know. Drop an idea in a room with nothing to attach it to, and the brain doesn't really quite know where to file it away. It just floats. So the brain's really busy, so it quietly lets it fade away. The audience isn't rejecting your idea, they're not even necessarily really hearing it and keeping it. The filter discarded it before it reached the part of the brain that could really decide. Your audience's attention system might not be listening as intently as you would like, but the brain's constantly filtering in the background for what's personally relevant. Psychologists call this the cocktail party effect. When it hears its name or a personally relevant connection, it flags it. Pay attention. This matters. So what are we to do with this? We're going to intentionally design communication that helps your audience connect to what they already know, what they've already experienced, what's already important to them. Let's walk through 3 different elements that you can anchor your ideas to. Anchor to the bigger picture. An idea that's not anchored to the organization's bigger picture has a hard time finding support. Why does the same proposal get rejected in one meeting and championed in another? In one room, the leadership just couldn't see how the idea fit. The other presenter painted a picture and showed them how it fit. Most organizations don't have extra capacity. So most ideas need to solidly anchor to what's already prioritized to get traction. When your idea reads as a side project, it doesn't really matter how good the idea is. If it doesn't visibly serve the vision, the mission, the values, the strategy that the leadership team already cares about, it's hard to get traction. The brain doesn't have capacity for it. The fix is to anchor your idea on what the organization's already pointing at, to support the direction that the organization's already headed. Then it feels natural. It feels like part of the whole, instead of a fragment that's floating beside it. A leader's lens is always the same. Does this support what we already decided matters? They're not asking whether your idea is good. They're asking whether it advances their cause as a leader. The failure mode is an orphan idea. The presenter assumes that the connection to the strategy is obvious. If you can see the connection between your idea and the organization, take time to spell it out. Make sure that the why is clear up front. Otherwise, both you and your audience may walk away frustrated. What to do? Name the anchor before you name the idea. Reference the exact words from the vision or the mission or the values or the strategy. Make the link explicit. Try this. This initiative directly supports the operational efficiency simplification goal that the leadership outlined last quarter. Here's how. This simple move hitches the car to the engine that's already pulling. Your idea isn't a separate thing competing for attention. It's part of the whole. It's connected to what already has attention. So there's power in aligning with that big picture direction. It's like the tide that's going in or out. You want to move with it. But there's also momentum with short-term priorities and initiatives. You can ride these waves. People have seen and heard the vision and mission many times. But there's another layer. What's important right now? It can be driven by a technology trend like artificial intelligence. It can be driven by a competitive move in the marketplace or a trend. It can be driven by a change in laws or regulations or business requirements. Timing isn't just decoration, timing is meaning. The brain weighs the same information differently depending on what's important right now. When you fail to anchor your idea in the moment, it feels like it could have been pitched last year or it could be pitched next year, and your audience treats it accordingly. If it isn't urgent now, it really isn't urgent ever. It just goes into the someday pile, which is where ideas go to die. A leader's lens in the moment may be sharper than the presenter realizes. They're asking, why this, why now? If you can't answer that in one sentence, quite honestly, you haven't earned their attention. The failure mode is the evergreen pitch. The presenter delivers the same pitch that they delivered 6 months ago, oblivious to the fact that the world has moved. AI has disrupted the category. Customer pressures have shifted. The competitor announcement landed yesterday. None of it shows up in the framing. What to do? Name the moment that your idea lives in. Tie it to an industry shift, a customer pressure, a competitor move, a regulatory window, a key business deliverable. Given the supply chain pressures that our customers are feeling right now, this matters more than it did 6 months ago. That sentence anchors the idea in time and gives it a now to attach to. The hitch has to happen while the cars are still in the yard, not while the train is pulling out. Relevance is the timing of the coupling. The car has to anchor to the train while it's still in the yard. If the engine pulls out without the car, it's irrelevant. If your idea could be pitched anytime, it'll be funded no time. So we've talked about anchoring to direction, and we've talked about anchoring to a point in time. Next up is anchoring to the people in the room. Why do some ideas spread across an organization in a month and others stay locked in the room where they were proposed? It's because the ideas that are spread have somebody that's carrying them. And unlike a virus, somebody only carries an idea that they feel personally connected to. When you fail at movement, your idea has no champion. It exists, but it doesn't go anywhere. The audience heard it. They might even agree with it, but no one in the room feels enough ownership to pick it up and walk down the hall with it. A leader's lens on movement is the most personal of the three. Is this mine? Not just intellectually agreed with, but owned. The failure mode is the next kind of orphaned idea. The first kind was where the idea was orphaned from strategy and not attached. The next kind is where it's orphaned from a person. Ideas need fingerprints on them. Without fingerprints, no one's picked it up, nobody's carried it. One secret way to get fingerprints on ideas is co-creation. Help make them think it was their idea. Invite them in to put their fingerprints on it so it becomes their idea. What to do? Reference the people. Call out the leader's insight that made the idea possible. Mention a colleague whose work foreshadowed this direction. Acknowledge the team that pressure tested all the thinking before today's meeting. Recognize the functions that will take the next step. I remember Maria saying last meeting that she needed the full toolkit. This proposal builds the rest of that toolkit. Now Maria is the idea. Maria is going to help carry it. This isn't flattery, it's the mechanism by which the ideas move down the line. Each person that you hitch the idea to becomes part of the coupling that helps move the idea through the organization. An idea that everybody agrees with doesn't necessarily go anywhere. An idea somebody owns goes everywhere. All right, so let's put this into action. Here's what to try when sharing your next big idea. Before your next presentation, write 3 connected tissue statements to ponder. Bigger picture, this advances a key strategy or priority. Moment, this matters now because of a specific pressure or shift. Person, this builds upon someone else's insight or prior work or priority. These are the elements of connective tissue that can help connect an idea so it moves through an organization. Most ideas die for a reason. They had nothing to hold on to. The brain isn't rejecting your thinking, it's filtering it out before it ever reaches the part that makes decisions. The car isn't bad, it just wasn't coupled to the train. It was never connected. If you found this useful, watch the audience principle. Knowing your audience is foundational, and connective tissue is how you attach ideas to what's already important to them. Subscribe below for more information on how to get your ideas to land. Now it's your turn to build the connective tissue to get ideas to move.